Mr. Roy, when and where did you born?
I was born in Texas, Waskom, W-A-S-K-O-M, Texas.
Texas. Alors, how did you grow up and why did you choose the guitar like instrument?
Well, I grew up in Houston, Texas, and there was a guitarist there named Lightning Hopkins who lived in Houston. And T-Bone Walker used to come through Houston traveling on tour. And Guitar Slim used to travel through Houston on all the great guitarists. And then there was Johnny Copeland. There was Clarence Hollimon. We all was kids together. We grew up together. And it was just so much interest in the guitar at the time because the blues was all over Houston. Everybody wanted to hear Clarence Gatemouth Brown, for instance.
Ça, c'était my friend.
Yeah. And so the guitar was a natural transition for me from the piano. And I was playing piano at 6, but then the guitar just became, and the blues became so powerful at the time. This was in the 50s, and it was just unbelievable how much blues was in Houston, Texas at the time. And I had to follow the trend of what was happening around me. And that's how I started to play the blues and play the guitar.
Alors, on the history, how did you meet Mr. Ray Charles? Et when? C'est 1966?
I was with Ray Charles. I got with Ray Charles because I was a studio musician for Quincy Jones. And we were making movies at the time. We made Color Purple, just an array of movies. And Quincy Jones was the conductor and arranger, orchestrator. Ray Charles was raised up with Quincy Jones in Seattle, Washington. So Quincy Jones recommended Ray Charles that I play with him, and that he had heard me play, and that I would be a good guitarist for him. So Ray Charles' office called me and auditioned me for the job, and Ray Charles had 2 guitar players when he called me, and I filled the position for 2 guitar players. Okay. He had only one when I came, so it was a good thing. I just come from college. I was working in the studios. I was very visible as a guitarist at the time, and so that transition turned into me writing a song for Ray Charles, traveling with him. I wrote the song No Use Cryin for Ray Charles.
Oh, yeah.
And
I know.
And I made the tour with him in the 1966 tour that went all over America, because he was flying with an airplane, so he was all over America.
And did you recording with him?
I recorded with him in his studio. He has a studio, and he still today it still exists. Ray Charles Recording Studio is on Washington Boulevard. That was a great story. Go with the song that I wrote for him, No Use Cryin. I was at my apartment, and my rent was due. I needed some money very bad to pay the rent. and that was the song setting on the piano said "No Use Cryin," and I said I'm gonna finish this song and take it to Ray Charles' office because he lived. I mean, his office was just blocks from my apartment. I walked over there, and when I got to the office, I went upstairs. I talked to the receptionist, and I gave her my tape, and I said, "This tape is for Ray Charles, but I need information. I need answer today."
Yeah.
I said, "Now, in fact, so can you give it to someone now that would be able to give me an answer because I need to know about the publishing and know about the money. I need money."
Yeah, money.
And so she said, "Oh, it doesn't work like that." She said, you must leave the tape and wait, and we call you." I said, "No." And so there was a man standing behind her that I knew, and I didn't know he was standing there because his back was turned. When he turned around, he said, "Is that Roy Gaines?" And so I said, "Yeah." He said, "I know Roy Gaines. You don't have to wait. Come in my office." His name was Wally Rooker. Wally was a singer with a group called the Heartbeats.
Okay.
And this group was a doo-wop group, the Heartbeats. And the Heartbeats had a song called 1,000 Miles Away.
Okay.
It was, you're 1,000 miles away, I still love you so, my darling. And then Wally had the bass part, do 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 do. And Wally he's a big man, and so he remembered me because I had the band behind Chuck Willis. And Chuck Willis, we had 7 straight hits. C.C. Rider, Juanita, and a lot of songs. And Wally was in the group, doo-wop groups. They would have 4 or 5 of those groups on tour with a major artist at one time.
Okay.
So we were all riding in buses and cars and getting to the jobs. So Wally knew me from those days, and he was no longer in the group. At the time, he was working for Ray Charles' office, and he carried my song into the studio and say, "Ray Charles, say, this is a song from Roy Gaines. It's No Use Cryin," and they were finishing an album called "Crying Time Again, I'm Gonna Leave You." Well, it's crying time again, I'm gonna leave you. You remember that song, Ray Charles? You connect?
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. So my song was No Use Cryin. They were finishing a song called "Crying Time Again, I'm Gonna Leave You." So Ray Charles said, "Yeah, I want that song." And so they recorded my song that day. Billy Preston was there. All the great players on the Crying Time album was there in the studio. They made that song, finished that song that day. And so that's the story. I got the money that I needed for the deal for the publishing, and I went back, paid my rent. Everything was okay. But those are the kind of things can happen for you when you're a kid. When you're young, you're not afraid. You try things. But if it was now, I would never walk out there. I would never go up there in fear of all the waiting that you would have to do. Okay.
Okay. Alors, it's exactly your first record, solo, is 1982?
Oh, no, I recorded before then in New York.
In New York?
Yeah, for Groove Records, Groove.
Okay.
Groove Records was a subsidiary of RCA Victor during the time that Elvis Presley was on RCA Victor. And Little Richard had songs out like Tutti Frutti.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I recorded a song called Skippy is a Sissy for RCA Victim, but I was on Groove, and Groove is connected with RCA Victor, so they thought the song was so great, they put it on RCA Victor. They didn't release it on Groove.
Yeah.
But I had some other songs on Groove also, Right Now Baby and D That the Dum Dum. Let's see, I had Isabella, Isabella. What was some other songs? It was enough songs to make an album. I have the album out now as a rockabilly album that I made for various labels, including RCA Victor and Groove. But my song was called, that I did for RCA Victor, was called If This Ain't Love, Skippy is a Sissy. And so this song has been with me all my life. I still collect royalties from that song. And now all those songs, after 28 years, belong to me, because the copyright goes into public domain after 28 years. If the record company that recorded it don't renew it, the artist can reclaim the copyrights. And that's what I did. So all that belongs to me now. And that was before the recessions in '82.
Alors, you have the great history, huh? How many recording did you do?
Oh my God!
Is now?
It's over 100 and some odd singles.
Singer.
And I have 19 albums out.
19
albums.
Alors, I want to tell me the last record, because I did the promotion for you.
Yeah.
And tell me the different songs and present the record for my followers.
Oh, you mean The War Is Over?
Yeah.
Yeah. The different songs, they are, see, I have a record in here. somewhere.
You have here?
Yeah.
Yeah?
A record. You want one?
Yeah, no, I don't have. You have here for to.
The War Is Over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can give you one.
For to promotion for to here.
Yeah.
It's very important, because I did the promotion because I work for the many musicians and for the blues.
Yeah.
Every time I have the contact for the new record, I put in everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Well, this record, The War Is Over, it was some live music made right here on the Meridian. I made these songs, Double Dealing Woman, and what else was made here? Double Dealing Woman, and it's a couple, 3 songs on there from Double Dealing Woman. Okay. I mean from The War Is Over, that was made here.
Yeah.
I say live in Paris. You want me to get the record?
Yeah.